What's up, Nappy Vlogsters? Here we are, another Thursday, getting it in the studio. Pickle always ruining the intro. There we go, welcome. So yeah, this vlog is pretty simple. How to make your beats 50% better than they are already with one simple trick. It's really that easy. But first, before I tell you that, I want to give you a little advice on things you should keep in mind when you're making beats, when you're going about beats, that'll help you reach that peak performance of making an amazing beat every time you make a beat. So I think there's basically three types of mindsets you're going to be in when you're making a beat. You're either making a beat for a client, you're either making a beat for yourself with a vision in mind, or you're just freeform creating. It really comes down to those three. And whether you're working for a client, you're working for your own vision, or you are just free flowing making a beat, the first tip that really helps is keeping in mind that beats are similar to like how a political campaign works. Depending on where the music's from, the sound is different. So when you study that different types of beats from different places and learn those elements, they become tools on your belt. So whether you're about to begin making a beat for a client, or you're doing your passion, your vision, or you're freestyling a beat, the first tip is to decide for yourself which tools you want to use. Do you want to have a New York boom bap feel? Do you want to have a southern trap feel? Do you want to have a crunk early 2000s southern feel? Do you want a Texas feel? Paul Wall. Do you want a West Coast but not Texas so much, but more like California, like Dr. Dre, like a high feeling? Do you want, so a Midwestern sound, a Chicago sound, a drill beat, a traditional trap beat? What else do we got? A pop beat, an EDM beat, a 90s techno beat, an 80s inspired beat. So this is just from all the years of making beats and studying beats, I didn't even rehearse what kind of beats these are. I'm just kind of in my mind going around the country and in the calendar and thinking of different types of beats. A rock inspired beat, straight gangster rap beat, a sampled beat, a beat with live instruments. So those are all the things that are whether consciously or subconsciously going through your head. They should when you begin making a beat. There's no rules. So I don't believe in if you're gonna use like a New York drums, it has to be a New York sounding beat all the way around. No, that's where the creativity comes in. Knowing that stuff gives you a launch pad, because you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling, I don't know, aggravated this morning. I want an aggravated type of beat. So then for you, how do you define aggravation? What songs does it remind you of? For some people, it might be like a Bay Area, California type aggravation, which is different than like a LA, Southern California type feel. It's just different. So, or maybe it's like a 90s New York aggression that you're feeling. But by having these, they're launch pads. So, and you can mix and mash. And so, the last tip that I think that would really help is the most important one that took me the longest, is get good one-shot samples. For so long I had all of these drum kits and I would spend extra time mixing with all these plugins just to get a kick to boom and a snare to snap. If you're not recording live instruments, don't waste your time having a one-shot drum kick that sounds awful and you have to mix it. Why? It's not like your foot hit that drum pedal, so go get another sound that sounds better. So good avenues to find that stuff. I mean, you can always use Google, but Splice, what is it, like $7 a month? Anytime now I make a song, I just type in kick and I go through them all. I have, tens of thousands of drum samples, but they're kind of old now. Even like 5 years is considered old. And these new, one-shots, especially with something like Splice, you can't beat it. Get good sounding loops, samples, one-shots. That is the big jewel. If your mixes aren't sounding good, a lot of experienced producers are going to get mad that this is the tip I'm giving, because you should always be working your mixing skills. But if your mixes aren't sounding good, the first thing you can do if you're a beginner, get good one-shots. get good one-shots. One-shots are the single note hits, you know, like a kick drum, a snare drum, a single hi-hat, all that. Make it high quality. When you press it to hear how it sounds before you buy it or use a credit, does it knock? If it doesn't knock, it's not gonna knock in your song. So that's the big tip. When you combine that with having an awareness of all different types of beats and styles that you can tap into as tools on your belt, you become an unstoppable machine, because now your sounds are at the level of quality they need to be at, and you just pull from your different regions of hip-hop or pop or any genre that you've studied, and you can start making songs that'll sound so much better. So learn from my mistakes. As soon as I started really focusing on the quality of my one-shots, my drums started going through the roof. And then I started battling that's not really a sign that I've become a better mixer, because I'm just getting better sounds. But at the same time, in a way it is, because as a mixer, I'm choosing to only put great sounds in my songs. And that's a decision of the engineer, in this case, me. And I'm still working and practicing my mixing skills, as you should too. But make it easier. Like music school and production school, often it'll get us so focused on the rules. There's nothing wrong with school. There's nothing wrong with no school either. Both avenues are good, as long as you put in the work. But sometimes, like I took a lot of different types of music lessons, school-oriented and stuff, and I'd get so fixated on the rules, I would forget to just do what was best for the project, and then overmix it, or this shouldn't work because the gain is all the way up. It sounds good, but by the rules, it shouldn't work. Who cares? If it's good, it's good. So that's it. Short and sweet today. How to make your production sound better. Study as much music as you can instead of just passively listening to music when you're not making it. Start paying attention, like what kind of kick pattern is that New York beat, you know? Because then, just like rap flows, which you can break down geographically as well, you can start breaking down patterns of kicks, patterns of snares within the genre. So you can dive deep into the layers of studying the type of music that comes from different geographical points in the country and the world. Not just the sounds, the patterns. So think about all that stuff. And, because then you start studying it so much, then you could pull an abstract pattern to mix with an abstract sound, put them together, consciously change just a little bit so it becomes your own, while still tapping into two sounds, aka future demographics, listeners of your music, and then you've just created your own thing, really by just pulling inspiration and following a template. But when you mix it up and mash it and make a salad of all your own stuff, that's original art. And then you can get to the point where you don't even think about it, but all that stuff's going on at all times. And you just boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, play the keys, just like that. Okay, yeah. The drums, yeah, like funk in the pocket, but the kick drum kind of like just a simple New York boom bap with the snare, bap. You know? So it'll all just start coming together. But start slow, analyze music, start pulling things out. Make your own words up to describe how you're seeing things. Like, even if you don't read music notes, write little sketches on a piece of paper that you understand. Who cares about anyone else? Sometimes I'll write like 4 hashtags, 4 little hash marks, another hash mark, and in my head I know that means ba-bum, 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 you know, and I read music, I can write music, but sometimes a personal clue that my brain understands is better. Don't be discouraged if it's easy. You just found your genius way of doing something that's very complex. So that is the Thursday edition of Nappy Vlogs. Again, focused towards music creators, artists, and producers. I am Mike Nappy, and this is another episode of Nappy Vlogs brought to you by Nappy Merch. I still have some left, t-shirts and tanks. Go to NappiMusicVideos.com, get yours now, because once this is gone, it's gone. As you know, the first line sold out, the second line is going. There's a few left, so grab it if you want it. I have music lined up that is going to be getting dropped from now until January 2021, so lots of stuff happening. That is all. I drank a lot of coffee this morning. I feel like I just talked a lot. Oh my god, almost 10 minutes. Well, I really hope this has been inspiring. I realize I look at YouTube videos all the time of producers talking, and sometimes they're just sitting here. Maybe you're listening to this and not even watching it, that's fine. But sometimes just hearing other people say stuff will inspire you to do it, or it'll reassure you that your weird ideas aren't that weird, and that's actually how it's done. Sometimes things are done a lot differently than what you imagined the procedure would be to get to the end result. So keep your mind open, That's it. Peace out, everybody. Follow me everywhere. Subscribe. Hit that like button and the notification bell.